Coming to you live from the Fatu Network News Review, I am Jaka CCJT. On our headlines, today our Omar Wali will engage Fabakary Tombong Jatta as APRC prepares for its much talked about rally which will take place on Saturday, November 23rd. But first, we'll take a look at the newspapers. On the Standard newspaper, the headlines read, New Constitution could affect Barrow Darboe's political ambitions. Jambur man claims 10 deaths linked to Jammeh's witch hunting. Expel UDP names surface at Barrow meeting. I didn't see Koro Ceesay at Yankuba's house. New Constitution could affect Barrow Darboe's political ambitions. If the new constitution is adopted as published last week, President Adama Barrow and UDP leader lawyer Ousainou Darboe could both have their political ambitions affected. In the case of President Barrow, the new constitution is proposing that he could only run in the 2021 election and not anymore. This is because the draft proposes a two 5-year terms for a president beginning with the term the constitution will pass. In this case, the current term of President Barrow will count as his first term, meaning that even if he so desires, he cannot run in 2026 even if he does win in 2021. Also, Jambur man claims 10 deaths linked to Jammeh's witch hunting. Dembo Bojang, a native of Jambur village, has told the TRRC at his first sitting at the scene of alleged crimes that he knows 10 people whose deaths could be linked to the horrific concussions and other treatments forced on them by former President Jammeh's witch hunt in 2009. The witness named all 10 and added other names who he said are still suffering from the effects of the exercise, which devastated the village and stigmatized its inhabitants. Also expelled UDP National Assembly members surfaced at Barrow meeting. A number of expelled UDP National Assembly members who were kicked out of the party last week, yesterday surfaced at the first meeting of President Barrow in Fas in North Bank region. At least 5 of the expelled members, namely Bileji Tunkara, Sekou Marong, Alhaji Jawara, Baba Gale Jallow, and Omar Darboe, joined the president's entourage and were introduced at the meeting to have now officially joined President Barrow. Also, I didn't see Koro Ceesay at Yankuba's house. Ensa Mendy, the second prosecution witness, yesterday told the High Court that he didn't see Usman Koro Ceesay at Yankuba Touré's house on the day he was allegedly murdered. Ensa Mendy made his statements whilst responding to questions by defense counsel A. Sissoho during cross-examination in the murder trial of Yankuba Touré before Justice Ibrahima Jaite. That's all for the Standard newspaper. We move on to the Point newspaper. Expelled UDP, NAM says party is sinking. Sekou Marong, the National Assembly member for Latrikunda Sabiji, said the decision of the United Democratic Party UDP to expel him and 7 other lawmakers was entirely politically motivated, arguing that the United Democratic Party is dying and will soon be buried. The entire decision of the United Democratic Party can tell you is based on political issues because they believe that we are the ones supporting President Adama Barrow. Trust me, if I tell you the party is dying, they will not believe me, but the truth is UDP is dying and they will be disappointed. What they believe is that we don't have any influence, but the way things are going, they will soon be buried, he told The Point in an interview yesterday. That's all for the newspapers. And now we'll bring you an exclusive interview with Fabakary Tombong Jatta as the party prepares for its meeting which will be held this Saturday, November 23rd.
For the first time in the Gambia, Your favorite GSM operator, Africell, is the first and only GSM operator to launch a brand new technology called the eSIM. The eSIM simply means you can use your phone without a SIM card. Do you have an iPhone 11, any of the iPhone X series, a Google Pixel 3, or any new phone that supports the e-technology? Visit any Africell customer care center. Activate your eSIM today. With your virtual Africell SIM, you can use more than one number without having a physical SIM card in your phone. Enjoy this brand new technology for the first time in the Gambia, brought to you by Africell. eSIM, your phone without a SIM card. For more information, please call 111. Where Africell goes, nobody.
Viewers, good evening and welcome to the Fatu Network. My name is Omar Wali. I'm here at Talinding Kunjan at the residence of Fabakary Tombong Jatta, who is the interim leader of the APRC party. As you all know, the APRC party will be organizing the homecoming of Babili Mansa, APRC's Golden Mega Rally, on the 23rd of November. I'm here to discuss it with the interim leader of the party. Honorable Jatta, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Omar. It's a pleasure to be with you.
I understand that you recently celebrated your birthday.
Yes.
How was it?
It was great. It was wonderful. I had a lot of surprises. A lot of surprises. Yes, good. Yes. I'm grateful to all those who contributed to its success and who bid me happy birthday. Yes.
All right. On the 23rd, your party will organize a rally to make a golden rally, and the theme of the event is Babili Mansa's homecoming. Tell us about the rationale about this rally that is going to be held.
Yeah, come 23rd of this month, November, that's next Saturday, the APRC will organize its Golden Mega Rally at Abuko. And as you said, the theme of it is the homecoming of Babili Mansa. Now, Omar, if we recall the past, immediately former President Jammeh left the source of this country. Most people thought APRC is gone and never to come back. And all efforts were done to ensure that this party dies away. You remember our vehicles, our accounts frozen just at the onset. Babili Mansa's bulls sold just at the commencement of the commission. And the interesting aspect of that is we see some of those vehicles with the executives riding in them, private personal cars sold to them. And we challenge government to tell the Gambian people how much they sold those vehicles. From there, we had the commission of inquiry, state managed. The results were out. APRC was moving from strength to strength. Then we had the word, the killer blow for APRC was going to be the TRRC. That started when the expectations were not met. The junglers were brought in, Sana Sabali, Edward Singate were brought in, Tufa was brought in on allegations, etc. So this rally is to prove to not only Gambians, but all doubting Thomases, that APRC is growing from strength to strength, despite these allegations. And the homecoming, the homecoming of Babili Mansa, we have said it all. The agreement signed between the United Nations, AU, and of course ECOWAS. One of the clauses of the agreement, communique itself, was Babili Mansa was going out after a given period on his own terms. He will be able to return to the Gambia. But we've observed that none of the articles in the communique were adhered to. Basically, it was thrown into the dustbin.
So you are saying this is meant not only to show the people, the public, that the party is strong, but you also are still advocating for Jammeh to come back?
Yeah, you see, for us, we have said this at the onset. Jammeh is a citizen of this country, and nobody can deny him citizenship. Despite all the allegations, Jammeh has a right to come back to the Gambia as any other citizen of the Gambia. So why do people get surprised by saying that Jammeh's homecoming? Do they mean that Jammeh should never step in the Gambia? That is not possible.
So how soon are you expecting Jammeh to come back?
As soon as it's possible. When the time comes, people are going to know. People will know.
How important is this rally to APRC?
Yeah, as I said, the significance of the rally is to prove to the doubting Thomases that the TRRC is not a killer blow to the APRC, but more a fertilizer for the APRC to grow bigger. Because most Gambians have now come to realize that most of these things are stage managed and false. Look, let's look at the issues. How can somebody tell you that somebody raped me? He has not told anybody before. He has not proven any witness. Up to the time he left and Jammeh left, nobody knew about it. He could not even confide. She could not even confide to her parents. Now you come to the television and tell people this happened, and people take it as, so far it is said that it happened, it is true. Even in our religion, to prove that somebody did those actions, you need to have proofs. But you see, as I told you, we are aware that there are clandestine group within the system that's out to smear President Jammeh and the APRC, and I will assure you they will fail.
Who are those people?
Time will come out with their names.
So you are saying what the allegations made by Tufa is not true?
If you recall my last interview before Tufa came to the, before she came to the TRRC, all indications then were that it was false. Much more when she came, she was talking, reading a document. She's been quoted. And I have not seen anywhere where you can say that this is true because of A, B, and C.
Now, she made an allegation against your party leader.
Yes.
Did you in any way make any effort to reach out to Jammeh and ask him whether he was in any way involved in sexual or raping Tufa?
No, if I had had evidence, I would have asked. But for myself, I'm not convinced. Why would I ask?
One might say you might not be there because this incident happened at State House, and this, you are the interim leader of the party. Somebody came, you might not witness or privy to some of these things. But now that it was public, was it not proper for you to reach out to Jammeh and said, this
no,
is
it is,
that and that they said?
It is not proper simply because not one person has said, yes, it is true. Only the person who is claiming it. And no evidence produced. Does it mean that tomorrow, if somebody goes to this thing and stand out to say, Mr. X did this to me, it is true? Look, in any recognized legal system, evidence must be proven, must be given. Look, the accused is proven innocent until proven guilty. Now, somebody just sat down and said he narrated her story from documents that he is reading. Said all the things he wanted to say. Not even before she appeared or before this news came out, nobody ever knew that she had even complained to anybody else. How can you make people believe that that had happened? So what I'm saying is, you could have confided to your father or your mother or your friend or your brother. Does it mean that anybody who comes out to say that this thing has happened, we should take it that way? It is because it's a smear campaign. It is orchestrated, manipulated, organized to smear Babili Mansa and the APRC.
You keep on saying campaign to smear APRC and Babili Mansa.
Yes, it's
but
a campaign.
you don't mention, you don't level names. Who are those people? Because you cannot just be making a blind allegation.
No, yes, it's not a blind allegation. We are all Gambians and we are all here. We are getting our facts. I told people there are certain informations, we are gathering certain documents. If we get those things, we are going to call a press conference. But what we do know, we know that people like Batambedu, Attorney General and Minister of Justice, for that matter, you talked you're talking to security forces. You are thanking them for making the most attempts on the Jammeh government. Attorney General and Minister of Justice, you are legalizing coup d'etat. If you remember, Alhaji Barrow was a coupist on the December 38th attempted coup. You were here, he was given a heroic and red carpet welcome at the airport.
Honorable Jata,
let me land here. Could one reconcile those things for a new Gambia? As long as Jammeh may be that they perceived him to be, we should always say no to whatever is wrong and to whoever he may be. He or she may be.
You condemn Alhaji because he was involved in a failed coup attempt?
Yeah, I condemn him for that. But what happened is that man should be condemned by the government himself because he did an illegal thing. But he was given by the then ministers a red carpet welcome. A whole attorney general is thanking the military for making the most attempts on a government. Can you reconcile that?
But are you listening to yourself? Was it the same thing that Jammeh also did when he came to power in 1994?
Like he did a coup. Yes, he did a coup. But if he had failed, nobody would have given him that heroic welcome. So can you remember? Can you remember Kukwai Sambasanya?
I wasn't born then. 1991.
Yeah.
I heard about it.
Yeah, I was aware. You see, if a coup is a trial, it is illegal at every stage. No law allows it. That's why when they come in, it's by use of force. They put away the constitution and all other things. Fundamental rights are seized to establish themselves. But where it fails, you cannot encourage people to be doing that. That's why in my press release I said, whoever makes an attempt on the Barrow government, you escape, and if we are in power, you come. We will prosecute you according to the law.
Right. You made a mention of Kukwai. I read that in Jawara's book, Kairawa, they describe him as a failed politician and failed revolutionary. Now, coming back, what do you make of the current political situation?
You see, Omar, the problems we find ourselves, we should put the blame squarely on the entire coalition partners. One cannot stand out to blame the other. They had a marriage of convenience based on principles, and I came to understand, in fact, even that agreement was not even signed. The coalition agreements, it was not even signed. But they came to terms to come together. But immediately after, by April, I sounded the bell that the coalition, President Barrow will have a problem and the coalition will collapse, if you follow my interview. Because President Barrow resigned from a political party to serve as an independent president managed by the coalition. And his government was so set up. Now, when we went to parliamentary elections, I saw political parties emerging on their own platforms. That is a signal for any key politician to know that something is going wrong. Because parliament is one of the strongest arms of government. Government programs and policies go through parliament. So if you allow political parties to make up parliament, and we belong to no political party, I mean, the end result is what we found ourselves in.
So, you throw out the claim made by Tufa. You also said the TRRC, the Jammeh Commission, is stage managed, and you also deny what the junglers said. Many will say you might not be fair to them because these are people who were not coerced to come and testify. But most of them came and gave evidence. And you want to tell me throughout Jammeh's rule there was no human rights violations?
No, I'm not saying that. So nor am I saying that no killings were not made. You know, we said as a party that we want government to establish credible institutions to establish the truth.
So TRRC is not credible?
It's not credible as far as it goes, because we have our own reasons. I remember when Yankuba Toure was there,
Right.
for instance. Yankuba Toure relied on the constitutional provision. Now, you feel that is wrong. And it's not wrong. It is right. It's a constitutional provision. The constitution is not amended. It's the same constitution we are using. Now, you felt that there was contempt of the TRRC. Fair enough. And you said you were going to send him to the Aegis to be charged for contempt. Now, only for him to go there, instead of contempt, you are charging him for murder. You are charging him for murder. And at that press conference, Essa Faal said, among others, that the junta was guilty of genocide. Who is Essa Faal to say that? Somebody who is trying to establish the facts. And the ICC had made a pronouncement that from 1994 to 2017, they have not seen anything in the Gambia that could be described to be genocide. Who is he to say that? Two, his deputy went to UK and said that Gambia's reconciliation problems are the Jolas.
You mean Atlas Sose?
Atlas Sose.
It's a commissioner, right?
As a commissioner of the TRRC, you are finding out, you are making determination. And is that reconciliatory for a commissioner to make those statements? Somebody else could have said it, but not him. We have had Essa Faal, also this guy, Attorney General. You remember when the commission's report was submitted? This is a commission, it's not a trial. The report is submitted to government. Government studies it and then comes out with a government white paper. Just receiving the report, he made a statement like, he held the document to say, it is now proven to Gambians that President Jammeh and his henchmen stole billions of dollars. Established. Without court of law.
So because
it's not professional.
Essa Faal said what happened in Gambia was pogrom or genocide, whatever you call it.
Yes.
And Atlas Sose also said Jolas are the problem of this country.
Yes.
That's the reason why you don't have any.
There are many reasons, even the way they conduct.
So if you, for example, is it that you don't have confidence or you don't see the commissioners as credible or the witnesses? How about the witnesses? If you say you don't
for the junglers, for the junglers.
Not only junglers, they dealt with so many things.
Yes, you see, what I'm trying to say is, it is state managed. You know what I'm saying is, just like people who have formed an opinion, and you are now trying to find ways to give flesh to that opinion. So all witnesses are almost pushed towards one end. Look at the contradictions among witnesses who witness the same thing. Look at the contradictions. And immediately you try to go against that, you find yourself on the hot chair.
Now let's get this thing clear. Do you believe that human rights violations took place in this country and people lost their life?
Yes, and all other countries in the world.
We are talking about Gambia.
Yes, you are talking about the Gambia. It's not an exception. This is not specific to the Gambia. It's everywhere in the world.
Yeah, we're narrowing down to Gambia and APRC on the Jammeh.
No, but
so do you agree that it happened?
This is what I'm saying. I said yes, but it is not. You know, we have not got angels managing Gambia. We are human beings. President Barrow's government has made human rights violations within these 3 years.
We will come to that, but if you agree that violations took place in this country,
yes,
is it not proper for you to also admit that those witnesses, what they are saying is credible?
No. If witnesses say credible things, we will accept it. We will accept it. We will accept credible witnesses because the purpose is to establish the truth and for us to learn from it and to build from it.
So for you, who are the credible witnesses at the TRRC and who are not credible?
No, you know the process. You look at the the process makes even the credible ones look incredible.
Okay, tell me one credible witness.
No. I will not be able to You know, I look at specifics of TRRC.
Now let's put in percentage.
I don't want to talk about the percentage.
Okay,
what I'm trying to put to you is, even if you are credible at TRRC, the process itself makes people believe you are not credible. So the process has to be strengthened, and it must be proven to be independent, honest, committed to the truth and nothing but the truth. No vengeance.
Critics might say that you are trying to sanitize Jammeh. You're trying to defend the undefendable. That's what you are saying all this.
Yeah. You know, critics will say whatever they may want to say. I know one thing. I've said it. We as a government, we made errors. I've said that several times. And it is now an opportunity for us to reflect on those errors and then try to see how we can improve on putting away those errors. No. But whatever you do, these things will occur. But you try to put it to the barest minimum.
Don't you think it's proper for you to admit so that you can move forward and deny? You admitted errors happened, but at one level, but at another level, you don't want to accept that those errors happened.
No, I don't say that. I don't say that. Look, you see, for instance, if somebody tells me, somebody sits down and said, I was told that Jammeh said we killed this person. Somebody just says that. That person has not talked to Jammeh. He said somebody told him. That somebody was told by Jammeh. And none of those others were forthcoming, so that somebody will say, Jammeh told me to tell them. Look, if you look at the American case, the current impeachment district, the problem was the ambassadors and all these people are saying, but nobody is saying that they had it from Trump. That's why they are trying to get somebody who had it from Trump. What I'm trying to establish here is, look, these are things that were done. Huh? The best we can do, we cannot undo it. We can learn from it and try to avoid a recurrence. In doing that, we must establish the truth. We must. It cannot just be somebody coming, even for instance, if what they are claiming is true, the evidence does not show that it's true. So let them come out with the evidence to show that it is true. This is what we are saying.
Imagine your family member was involved or lost under Jammeh. Will you be talking like this?
You see, probably you don't know me. Ask people who know me. You see, when I was in APRC, I don't mince what I believe.
My question is, imagine...
I am telling you, I will talk. You see, it's not about family. What it's about is every life for me is important.
So if every life for you is important, can't you admit that those lives, the life that...
No. But I have told you, Omar, here, that it is regretted that some lives were lost. And it happened.
If I understand you regretted those lives were lost, but you don't accept they were lost.
No, I did not say that.
But
I did not accept. I did not accept the fact that those lives were lost because they were ordered by President Jammeh to kill them.
But it happened under Jammeh's reign.
Very cool. It happened during our time.
Is that alone responsibility for the government, because he was tasked to be responsible for the lives and properties of this country?
No. If that is the basis, you could have said that. They could have said that. But they are saying a different thing. They are saying that he ordered me to do that.
Now, a few minutes ago, you told me human rights. When we talk about Barrow's government, you always bring Haruna Jatta and so many issues. And it will taint Barrow's government. But these violations, the junglers claim and others, don't you think you also should take some degree of responsibility? If you said Haruna Jatta died under Barrow. Yes, we all know he died under Barrow's government.
Yeah, but we never said Barrow killed him.
No. But
you see, that's the difference.
If you say kills him, but the always thing is, you always said human rights violations occurred under Barrow's previous government.
Yes.
So the same thing that people are putting it to you.
No, but you have said that, Omar. I said to you, yes, those things have happened during our time. Our difference here is, you are tagging that somebody ordered for those things to happen, as if we were to say that Haruna Jatta his killing was ordered by President Adama Barrow. We are not saying that. Even if that happened, we have no evidence to prove that. So why are people trying to smear President Jammeh because it happened under his leadership? You can say that. But you cannot tell me that he is the one who ordered for those things without proofs.
So, the theme of the celebration, Barbalis Homecoming, is it just a mere propaganda or Jammeh will really come home? And in what way and form?
No, but I have told you that Jammeh, I have said it.
I interviewed for BBC a few months ago, and similar story, that was after your congress in Buyam.
Yes.
And you said something like that, and almost...
No, Barbalis, no, we are not giving you specifics. I have not told you that he will come this year or the next month or 10 years. I have never said that. I said he will come back. He is a citizen. Even if he has slaughtered 1 million people, he has a right to come back to the Gambia. Or can you deny him the right to come back? Nobody can deny him the right to come back. At best, what can be done is, if I do something wrong, I go out and I come back, the best they can do is to get me. But they cannot prevent me from coming back. Why is Jammeh's coming back a threat to people? To specific people? The ordinary Gambians are happy. Otherwise, with all the smear campaigns, with all the allegations, we will have not gone anywhere. But we are growing from strength to strength, and I invite you to Abuko. You will not be able to reach me. I promise you that.
I will be there.
And let me tell you, it's being funded by the people themselves. That's the beauty of our party. During those times, the party funds these things. But today, the people fund their own programs, and nobody puts this money into something that he does not belong to.
Now, you also know, people are testifying before the commission, the Truth Commission. They also accused Jammeh, Solo Bojang. During Jammeh's time, obviously, they were accused of being witches and wizards. What do you make of that one as well? That they were arrested following Jammeh's antlaid in 2009, that they were witches. Do you deny that one as well? The witch hunt took place in this country.
Yes, the witch hunt took place.
Do you deny that?
That it took place?
Yes.
It took place in my presence.
Okay.
Yes. But you see, I see those things as flimsy, and with all what was said against APRC and Jammeh, now people are going into traditional local things, witch hunting. Jammeh could not cure people. All those people were said here. Yeah, listen, let me come. We have traditional medicine men here, doctors. That's accepted by government, by the health authorities. They cure people. Now, but for Yahya Jammeh, it is criminal. He cannot do it. But other traditional healers can do it, but he cannot do it. You see, let me tell you one thing. We cannot be stage managed. We cannot be stage managed. For me, as an independent man, I cannot be stage managed. If President Jammeh does something wrong, established, I will say it's wrong. He's human. He can make it. We should find solutions to the problem. But you cannot also, just by saying things or formulating things, make me accept what my conscience will not allow.
It seems you are dodging my question.
No, I'm not dodging. I answered your question to say that it happened in my presence.
You are mixing two things here, traditional healers and witch doctors. We understand 6 of them were hired from Guinea-Conakry to come and hunt witches and wizards in this country. That is completely different from traditional healers in this country.
Yeah, Omar, what I'm trying to do, you are making an interview, and people are listening, and it's to inform people so that they understand the context of what we are all saying. What I'm saying is, yes, witch hunting happened in my presence here. Whether those people were ordered or not, I don't know, but it happened. I am saying that is something that's flimsy. We cannot be talking about a government. You are going into the issues of hunting witches and traditional medicine. He is not good in it. He is claiming to have been doing it. Those things are just out to smear the man. This is what I'm saying. They are not honest to their conscience. That's from my perspective.
You're still in a state of denial that some violations took place in this country.
Oh, are you listening? I don't know what you want. I have said to you that yes, it happened. I've said to you this witch hunting happened in my presence here. I've said it to you.
Right.
And I've said to you that whether they are ordered from Sierra Leone, that I don't know.
Okay.
I have I went further to say that it is flimsy, just like the doctor's issue, the traditional healing issue. That's what I've said to you. What else do you want?
What? I'm asking a question, and asking.
Yeah, what is your question is answered.
Okay, fine. Let's move on to another thing. Let's talk about Barrow is embarking on a nationwide tour. Since then, he has been nearly 3 years in office. How will you? I know you have been gauging in his performance, but now, currently, how much overhaul? How much will you give Barrow?
You see, I give the coalition, not President Barrow per se. I have told you in the interview here that you see, whatever we find ourselves in, no member of the coalition can put the blame on the other. They are all guilty of our present situation. And they should take responsibility. They misled Gambians. They misinformed us. They went into a coalition that they very well knew was not workable. So if it shatters and goes away, how can you blame Barrow? How can you blame Ousainou? How can you blame Ahmad Ba? Together, they should be blamed.
Okay. Currently, we have seen the emergence of so many political parties in this country, so many fractions. What do you think? Will there be any threat of some of these parties emerging? Are they going to pose any threat to your party, APRC?
You know, they are talking about emerging political parties.
Yes, the political that are sprouted.
I only know of one. Do you know of any other? Well, since Jammeh left here, I only know of one.
Which is?
Which is the, is it GOP? GAP.
Okay.
Is there any other?
Well, there are others coming, so I will.
No, they have not come.
Of course, they are coming.
At the beginning, 2 years ago, we've had people coming. They are saying 20 or more political parties are coming. To date, only one came out. All other political parties were registered during the APRC.
Fonyi is seen by many as a stronghold for APRC.
What?
Fonyi as a APRC stronghold. But now Barrow is on a tour. Are you in any way concerned that he might be able to shake those people from one end to another?
You see, for us, you see, it is for every political party to market your policy programs to the people. And it's the people's rights to determine, to shift wherever they want to go. You see, for us, this is why we are in opposition with a difference. For us, we don't believe in those things. We believe that we should be able to market our policy programs to the people, and then the people's right to either join us or go to Barrow or to Ousainou or to somebody else. That's why, since President Jammeh left here, we have, despite all the challenges, all the human rights violations that the most journalists kept quiet about, we stayed in our houses. We never took the streets to destroy anything. We tried to engage government. Before, political parties don't want to talk to government. They feel, so far they are not part of it, they are out. We see ourselves differently. President Barrow is the president of the Gambia. If we have problems, we will face him, confront him. If he does well, we will say thank you, clap for you. If he goes wrong, we will shout to the top of our voices. That's why when I go to meet President Barrow, people will come to say, "Yeah, President Barrow, $1 million. He's given 1 million. Oh, he's now transferred." You see, look at me. I will die APRC. Honestly, now is not the time for me to talk about what went wrong. What went wrong, I was part of it. If I were to leave, I should have left at that time. So, what I'm trying to say here is, we made errors. That's why when we regrouped, we said, we reflected on the party. And that we promised people that most of the things that went wrong, mechanisms will be put in place to prevent a recurrence of most of them. And that's the best way forward. You go to anywhere in the world, you find the same things that we are clamoring about. The same things. There is no perfection in human endeavors.
Now, we understand that the draft constitution is out. What will be your party's position? Is it 50+1 or single majority? What do you want? What does your party want?
Yeah, we don't mind 50+1. We have no objections to it. I had certain concerns But I just started reading the draft constitution. Okay. But the parts that I have read, I had concerns about citizenship. Okay. Because at this formulation, there were things mentioned. And at one of those platforms, I raised objections. So the first thing I did was to go and look into that person. And when I read it, I got a little bit comfortable. Yeah. So I am trying to read through all, make my comments. Probably in the next 2-3 weeks, I will be able to. I'll be able to have an idea, and the executive members and party will have an idea, and we will come and discuss these issues as a party, and we will come out with our position on it.
Imagine there is 50+1, and no single party won 50%. Which parties in this country do you think you will form a coalition with?
You know, there are no permanent enemies in politics. Nor are there permanent friends. So, somebody can be your worst enemy. Today, tomorrow he may be your partner. And all political parties have a right to find partners to come together based on mutual interest of the Gambia. If they agree, walillah walhamdu. What we do know is we are the balancing power. Today, whatever we say as a single party, we are not afraid of any political party.
You like giving a broad answer to questions I ask you. Which party, and you are saying there's no permanent enemy and permanent...
No. You see, we cannot determine that.
So you cannot even figure out who you think you can work with?
No. I can work with all or any of the parties based on what my program is and what your program is, and we are able to reconcile. So if I say I will be able to work with this one, I don't know what he has. What I can tell you is, in politics you can discuss with anyone. Would you have belief that all these political parties, 7 political parties, will have come together? So this is politics. This is what I'm saying. We can go into a partnership with any political party if we agree. Because each party has your own objectives and set goals.
Does this agreement include returning all the assets of former President Jammeh and allow him to come back?
No, you cannot make me preempt what we will do.
I'm not asking. This might be issues that
No. What we will not want to preempt that. What we the
but
conditions
it might be part of some of the conditions that you.
No, we don't want to talk about that. What our conditions will be, they will only come out until when we have a political party that we are discussing with. We cannot preempt that. But that aside, we feel most dissatisfied with the sale of President Jammeh's properties, especially at the commencement of the commission. Before even the commission started, proper work, they sold his herds of cattle. And government said it is difficult to maintain. If one man can maintain his herds of cattle, not only a government with agriculture department, with veterinary agricultural ministry, veterinary department, and all these things. And what we are investigating now, we are getting some information and some facts that these things were sold to some members within the hierarchy.
Why not you just say these herds of cattle were sold to a particular minister than a hierarchy?
No,
a particular minister than a hierarchy. You are making...
No. Are you saying that it's one minister?
Well, I'm just saying I know some of the ministers who are involved. Who are those ministers?
No, we know. Our difference is, I'm a politician. I can say whatever I want, but that's the difference with me. We want to get facts. What we know, we want to back it up, and we are getting a lot of documentation on this thing, a lot of facts. And when we are ready, we are coming out. We will call all of you and we will present our case. And whatever we say, be careful, we will not be challenged.
How soon do your party want to take that step to make sure that?
As soon as possible. Information, you know how you get your information. You know how challenging sometimes is to get information. But thank God we are getting it. If we cannot get all, if we are satisfied of some of the things, we'll come out with those ones.
Quite often I ask people questions that may think, but do you think Jammeh will ever be president of this country?
That is 2 factors, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Gambians.
So if it is...
There is no one of us who can say Jammeh cannot be or will be. Gambia is a democracy. If people of the Gambia decide to say that President Jammeh come and be our president, who are you and me to say no? If people of the Gambia say we don't want President Jammeh, who is you and I to say he must come? So that is determined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the people. What is correct, what is clear, is that his achievements in this country cannot be brushed aside. And ironically, hardly do we hear about the achievements of President Jammeh and his government. It's more about the wrongs, the purported wrongs we have done. Hardly, you listen to radio stations, you listen to the TV, you don't hear about those things. That's the interesting aspect. People should be able to say, President Jammeh, you are bad in A, B, and C. You are excellent in D, E, and F. But no, bad, only bad.
Who are those people?
All of you. All of you.
Well, let me put it something on a more serious note. When Jammeh was in power, I report for foreign media organizations and international media. But what we normally say, despite the human rights violations, he brought about infrastructural development in this country. Are you following what was happening in this country? We also said, despite all those violations, some of the good things that came out of the dictatorship has to do with the University of the Gambia. Aren't you fair to Gambian?
No. When was that said?
Of course it was said many times. Even at the graduation of the University of the
Gambia. No. You remember, Omar, when we were in power, even if we look at a journalist strongly, 24 weeks, the papers will go on. Why not the same now?
How do you mean by when you look at a journalist?
No, what we are saying is people look at us critically and they talk only. We expect the same journalists to do the same thing.
But the same thing.
And they should come in defense of the truth. When Haruna Jatta was shot here, within 3 days, no more information. When we were denied our permit to celebrate our this thing, no mention of it.
Let me put you through. When Haruna was shot, you can verify with Amul Nyasi. I put that story on the BBC, and it was there on a couple of days and various media organizations. You can ask Amul Nyasi.
You know, Omar, I will tell you one thing. I had your story on BBC on one of my interviews with you.
We are talking about...
I was not happy with that one.
We are talking about Haruna now.
Yeah, Haruna, what I'm trying to say, you're reporting to BBC once about the issue, about somebody shot dead, and no government investigation, nothing. No follow-ups. Is it just a report that somebody was shot dead?
This story has been there and it has been followed. I don't want.
I would love to see these things to prove me right and any other journalist. I tried to monitor it. The fact that it was only mentioned that Haruna Jatta was shot dead at Kanel Live through at a demonstration, so-called demonstration. Even my party said they were armed. Well, you know, in this social media world, he was proven and he had to accept it. So what we are saying is, if that had happened, what used to happen when Dada Hydra died, when that other journalist disappeared, Chief Mane, continuously people were talking about it. We cannot even list it. Why not Haruna? Is it because he's APRC or he's from Fonyi? Or because he's from Kanilai, the birthplace of Yaya Jammeh? No, that is not fair to us. Let's be honest. Professional journalists will have their political opinions, but that should not come out in their work, in their professional work.
So who are those journalists?
You see, 80% of Gambian journalists that I know have betrayed the cause. They were anti-Yaya Jammeh and APRC. Now they are comfortable. That's why anything can happen to APRC or anybody else. That's my belief. Unless they prove me wrong, to be honest with you.
Well, I will prove you wrong.
Yeah.
It's the same treatment that other parties get. Is it the same treatment that APRC gets? So what do you...
No, APRC we are not getting... No. You see, when we were in government, we were very sympathetic to the opposition. A small scratch becomes headlines. Now, worse things are happening to us.
When you say worse things, what exactly?
Worse things like, can you imagine, the example I gave you, one, can you imagine that 52 at Kanfenda Junction, the 2017 independence anniversary, these people were going in their buses They stopped there. These small girls and boys were selling these things. They insulted them. Those people threw back. They came down their buses. There was a fracas. A group of about 6, 7, 8 people. There was a fracas. When the police came, they put those people back into their buses. They all went home. They came to the village. Not only those people, they arrested 52 people, pregnant women, school children, all men, 52. Look, if we had done that, 24 years, it will be the sing-song in the Gambia. Why not now? They are Gambians, and they are innocent for that matter. They love APRC, they supported it. Others love other parties, they supported it. The actions of the APRC leadership should not reflect on them. But people see it. Even look at the comments being made against them. It means that those people are bad people for supporting a political party. You talk about Fabakary, I was in leadership. Talk about Yaya Jammeh. Talk about the cabinet ministers, the MPs. Yes, but the ordinary people have a right to support any political party. Just for doing that, you victimize them. All right, I don't think you yourself will agree with that.
No, it's not about me to give my opinion, but let's talk about the divorce in UDP as well. They expel 8 National Assembly members. As a party, what do you make of that as well?
You see, I listened to their, the MP for, I think, for Brikama. I listened to his arguments that they removed them, they took away their position of responsibility, right, but not the party. I heard it over the radio, and then I begin to wonder what these people are up to. You see, it's high time we politicians talk honestly to the people. No amount of lies can make you a leader in this country. And if you want to say the truth, anytime your time comes, it will come. My point is, 2 positions. A political party has a right to expel any member based on its regulations. The constituency who elected you has a right of recall. To take responsibility from the National Assembly cannot be the political party. It can only be the electorate. As far as they have amended the Constitution. You know, that was the first thing they did. They thought it was bad. For us, we thought it was meant for us. Now they are crying over it. They are now challenging those people to resign their positions. But for me, I see not political parties have a right. Members have to conform with your rules and regulations. If you talk to them, politics is not compulsion. You try to convince them first, and then you think they are more poisonous than good. You just have the right to expel them.
What does the future hold for APRC in 2021 election?
Very bright. Not bright, very bright.
Okay.
Very bright. You know, political activities will prove some of these things to you people. Political activities will prove some of will shed some light onto what we are. I remember in 2017 up to November, you dare not even wear APRC T-shirt. Even people who sympathize don't want to show themselves. We gave positions to people, they will cry foul and say, please leave me in my peace. Today, people are scrambling into the party. People from all walks of life, people are coming. People are supporting. This rally will cost between 800 to 1 million. APRC, we have no butut. Can you remember that? And it's being funded by the very people who support the APRC by their $100 and their $200 and their $500 and their $1,000.
Is that sustainable?
Very sustainable. That's the most sustainable thing. The most sustainable thing is people's participation in the affairs of the political arena. It's not compulsory. If you have your $50, you put it. If you don't have, fine. Somebody has $100, he puts it. Somebody has 5,000, he puts it. At will. At will. That is most sustainable. That's why, look, you see, with all the pressures, account forcing, everything happening, we will do big things. We went around the country for 21 days with fleet of vehicles. How are we able to do it? It's from the people themselves. And I tell you, the Brikama rally, you see all those vehicles there. Billahi wallahi tallahi. Besides CRR, URR, NBR, CRR, I think we gave them 3 or 5 vehicles. CRR the same. North Bank, I think 102, North Bank 102, and this place 102. West Coast, KMC, Banjul, not one butut went into transportation. All those vehicles were hired by themselves. And you see, for this rally, no butut is going to West Coast. No butut is coming to KMC, for whatever. All what we are trying to do is to provide the food that they will eat. So it is sustainable, and it's giving us more vigor and energy to sacrifice more. If the people can do that, we the leadership will give our lives.
Finally, what will be your final message before we end this interview?
Yeah, you see, my greatest challenge in the Gambia is a few things. When we talk about a new Gambia, we must be honest, more so leaders. We must be honest. When I am no more in the Gambia, I believe my family, my children, grandchildren will be here, my friends and districts will be here. We all should aspire to a better Gambia. Okay. So one thing is, Gambians must know and accept that they determine by Allah's will who is to lead them, based on their interest. And if they choose to do it, they remove you from that position. But true violence is by a vote that puts you there. Deny the vote, the person is out. The other thing is, we are a neat family. Gambia, despite the challenges we have, just knock one person that you think you don't know, it comes to haunt you. Let's try to forge ahead. Let's try to forge ahead, have a period of healing, reconciliation, and forgiveness. People have gone through it worse than a million times worse than our own. And they are progressing fast. Let's not harbor vengeance and hatred. We should also remember that we are a country of faith, both Christian and Muslims. And we have values and norms that have stood the test of time to be sacred and very helpful to our societies. We must nurture it. See, when you talk about democracy, there are fundamental pillars that are the same anywhere. But some of the nitty-gritties vary according to the norms, values, the sacred norms and values that are good. You cannot, just for example, it's democratic for you to tell somebody in the Western world, to your dad, "Dad, you are lying." That's not true. Here is taboo.
No, but I think you are mixing two things. If you as a father, you tell your son, "Lie, don't lie, it's bad," and you lie, and he tells you are lying. No,
that's against our taboo. That's not the way you tell your dad.
But
this is why we differ. You see, that's the Western mentality that's imbibed in you to think that way. But what I'm saying is, I grew up in a society where I dare not tell my dad that you lying.
I'm a cultured person.
Huh?
I'm a cultured person too. I'm not a Western person.
No, but you borrowed.
How?
Yeah, look at the comment. that's
I'm giving an example, not a comment.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Anybody who believes that it has no good, that you are lying, it has no value, has no good. In fact, you can make your dad believe that what he is doing is not probably correct, if you think so, in a way that is pleasing to the dad, and it makes him change. Then you tell, here in the Gambia, a son tells his dad, "You are lying." See, it creates disunity. It's not unifying, and it does not solve the problem. Why should we